Hello.
Hey, can you see me?
Oh yeah,
Okay, good. I can't see myself. I've never used Skype before.
that's okay.
How you
Are
doing?
you on Are you on a computer or a phone?
I'm on my phone.
Okay.
So I
Can you?
actually, oh, go ahead.
What do you see? Just like the letter of yourself?
Nope, I only see you.
Okay. Well, if you tap on your phone, there should be like a microphone and camera feature down at the bottom. Sometimes it.
Yep, I see. Hold
Oh,
on.
you also turned your camera.
I did?
Yeah, I think so.
Am I back?
No.
What am I doing? Better?
No. Oh, there you are. I got you.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Well, that's my stove. Oops, I don't know what you're seeing. Cat tree, possibly.
There you go. Now I see you
Okay.
again.
Well, I'm just gonna let it be, so I can
There
see
you go.
you. How you doing?
I am good. How are you?
Well, thank you.
Oh, I know. Skype is one of those old school things where it's like, do I remember how to use that? But then again, it's the only one that actually allows you to record.
Okay, I
So
got you.
as old school as it is, it's the most functional for things like this.
Gotcha.
Sky,
Yeah,
what the
I'm
hell are you doing?
used to Zoom.
Yeah, that's only for conferences now, and because it's multi conferences, it doesn't let you record it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, like you can take screenshots to prove that you were there, but you can't record anything.
Good to know. Good to know if I ever need to record anything.
Right?
But so we're talking. We're doing this.
Yeah, I know. This is the
Yeah,
first time I've spoken to you like out of the comments section. It's really weird.
I know, right? It's so different when you see someone face to face. TikTok can be pretty obscure, you know.
Yes, because like
So
you know that you're watching their video, but like it was recorded and posted however long ago, so they can't see your reaction beyond words. So
yeah,
unless you're typing, LMAO, they don't know that you laughed at it.
yeah, they've got no clue, and even if you're typing it, people don't have any clue. So I like the face-to-face interaction. I wish I had the time to go live more with people, but no time for that.
Even that got, I guess, boring. You could because it's just looking at yourself, and
Right.
I do that enough when I have to force myself to look in the mirror. So it's that's like I'm talking to people writing rather than actually.
Yeah, I
It's
same thing. It was weird, and
yeah,
then I felt the need to respond to every single comment, and then before you know it, I'm like, well, basically
yeah,
live chat, and this is boring for me.
right. Basically, I never had anything to say or do when I went live, so I'd just
They
be staring at the screen. And I'm like, if anyone sees this on their FYP, they're not coming in here because all it is me just going.
waiting for somebody to come in.
Like, all right, maybe I'll like blink to let them know that I'm actually here.
Yeah, it's the most awkward thing to me. I'm like, it's just so awkward, but
Like, how many
whatever.
times have you typed LOL and you weren't actually laughing?
Well, I don't know, probably
Right?
50 toss up, to be honest with you. Sometimes it's just like, okay, that's a polite, appropriate response, and it is funny.
Yeah.
I'm physically laughing, but I think it's funny, so LOL. But,
Right?
usually if I'm actually laughing, I'm using the emoji or like bold letters, something to like show my reaction. But
Yeah.
and in
I've
my head,
noticed.
everybody does that. Does everybody do that? Am I just a rude asshole?
No, not really. I mean, the majority of people do the LOL to make it less rude.
Right. Like it's just a
So like
neutral.
if they're saying something that they know is going to come off as mean, they put the LOL to like try to neutralize it. But people focus
Oh,
more on the LOL than they
yeah.
do on what's actually being said. At least that's how I look at it. Like I read the entire sentence, not just the makeshift laugh out loud. Like, oh no,
I
you were
do
actually
too.
being a dick there. Like, okay, cool.
That shit flies right over my head because I would never do that. I'm like, well, okay, that kind of doesn't make sense, but there's an LOL there. Okay, so I guess
Right? Yeah.
they win.
Right. or the people that they know what they're saying isn't funny, but they put the laugh emoji anyway, hoping that someone's gonna laugh at it.
I
Like,
do
come
that.
on, man.
No, I
Yeah,
do
like,
that sometimes. Like, please have mercy on me. I just cannot resist.
like I'm trying to think of a joke. Like I'm trying to be, you know, different. Or
Exactly.
you type something that's really clever, but then you scroll down and someone else already did it.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
usually taking my comment at that time. I'm like, I'm just gonna look like that person.
Right.
Like my
Oh
heart.
man.
I watched the video 5 times. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So how
Well,
you doing? How's
good.
I don't even know what day it is anymore.
You
Still
know what?
Wednesday. How yeah.
It, it's Wednesday, so it's hilarious because I woke up. I'm like, it's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm feeling good, and I look at my phone. I'm like, Wednesday. Wah wah. So
Wah wah wah.
yeah. So like, I
Oh
started off my
man.
day on a high, and then I just kind of rode that Wednesday. Like, man, you mean I got 2 more days to go till my weekend? Not that I have anything planned, but
Right?
oh,
I've done that on a Sunday before. I've done
yeah.
that on a Sunday before. I woke up on a Sunday, or I woke up on a Monday thinking it was a Sunday. So I didn't go to
Oh,
work.
oh
Yeah.
shoot. How that worked out.
Yeah. Like, oh, like, what do you mean I have to come in? I don't work on Sundays. And then I look at my phone, like, oh, never mind. Like,
Yeah,
no, I didn't take anything last night. I swear. I didn't drink. I'm just stupid. I'm coming to work.
that's funny. Speaking of stupid work stories, okay, so one time I got this job and I had just spoken to my new boss. I was like, I'm super punctual, I'm never late. And I was like talking myself up because it was true.
Yeah.
And the very next day, I was supposed to start day 1 of my job, and I had just got done talking myself up. But I had just gotten Simon, who's my boxer at the time. He was a puppy. And while I was
Yeah.
sleeping, he picked up my phone along with my phone charger. So I ended up dying, and I missed my alarm, and I ended up completely sleeping through most of my shift day 1. After
Nice.
I'm like, I'm never late, I'm super responsible, I'm super punctual. And then, like, come in on day 1 and be like, my dog ate my phone. What a lousy excuse, right? I felt like the
Yep.
world's biggest asshole. My gosh. Luckily, she had mercy on me. And, I think a
Right?
few months I gained some redemption, but it did not look good at all. That's like recorded in my all time most uncomfortable moments of my life.
It's like the dog ate my homework. Only this
Exactly.
time it was actually true, but it was actually true.
Exactly.
It
And that's
wasn't
how it
just an excuse.
felt. That's how it felt. Like, seriously, no, my dog ate my phone. I promise. And the
Right?
charger.
Oh my god. I had one person because I used to actually have to pay attention to people's attendance. It was part of my job. I
Yeah.
had one excuse come over my phone that said my dog ate my steering wheel. And like I knew it was bullshit, but I was like, you know what? I've gotta smile at this one. That is bravery, trying to actually make that like sound believable. My dog ate my steering wheel, so I couldn't move my car. Like, really?
How does that happen though? And how does it
It
like
doesn't. Yeah.
continue to happen to the point where they actually eat it? That's thick material. It's
Yeah, I
gonna
know.
take a minute. How
Like,
did you
well,
handle that?
first of all, stop having your dog in your car because it's not supposed to be learning how to drive. And secondly, why are you letting it chew on your steering wheel? I mean, like, but it wasn't a real thing. Like, they literally just went to the top shelf with the dumbest excuse they could think of.
Just like
But
going all in, like, hey, I know, like, he's not gonna believe me anyway, so let me just come up with this grand story.
exactly.
I can just be like, I know, I'll tell him that the dog ate my steering wheel.
Like, why didn't you just say that it chewed through your tire, which is equally impossible?
Right, right. Or that, like, hey, I got hit or something
Yeah,
actually believable.
my dog ran me over.
Yeah,
It
my
was
dog ran
driving
me
my
over.
car. It was driving my car.
My dog is currently on a high-speed chase. I have to go get him. He
Oh
stole
my.
my.
Okay. You want to talk about funny shit? So Another person on the same level as me that was also responsible for the attendance of people. They had they had an excuse come through um, from someone that literally, like, do you remember the Christmas Carol? My grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so they literally said that I'm not going to be able to come in. My grandmother got run over by a reindeer. But the person who was taking the attendance was like, "Oh my God, are they okay?" Like
You've got to.
they didn't register that it was a song. First of all, reindeer in that retrospect are not real. Second of all, and they literally took the excuse and was like, "I hope she's okay. Go ahead, go take care of them. I'll let the bosses know you won't be in." Right? So the only thing that this person did was they told the uppers like, "Oh, they've got to go visit their grandmother in the hospital. They're not going to be at work." So it got excused. And then the excuse was had to be logged. So they had to open up their phone and write word for word what the excuse was. And the bosses are like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, come on. How do you miss that? How do you miss that? I don't know.
know, man.
I don't know.
I think it was just grandma and ran over, and then the rest of it they
God.
just didn't pay attention to it.
I mean, maybe she was doing someone a solid too. Maybe she was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna make this super believable for this person.
I don't think I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Unbelievable.
That was difficult.
I
What
don't
do
get
you
the
do for work?
idea. What do? I'm an insurance agent, actually.
Okay. Oh God, you're the devil.
People hate us. Like people hate us. I'm like, look, bro, you need some insurance. I can give it to you. You called me. I don't know why I'm the enemy, man. It's like you
Right?
told
You
me what
sell
you
insurance.
wanted. I gave you a
Like you're
plan. You agreed to it. It's whatever the insurance company does to you is not my fault. Like I feel like there's a lot of projection,
Oh
right? And
yeah, there is.
people fail to realize we're the middleman. You call us because you need insurance, and we help you find it based on the
Yeah.
needs that you give us, right?
Yeah.
You know your situation, and if you're only willing to give me certain bits, I can only do what I can with that. Beyond that, your issue is really it's the insurance company doing it to you, not me. They're
Yeah.
But most of the time, I don't get a lot of complaints from people. I mean,
But I
I
mean, do
think,
you put that disclaimer in though? Like, listen, after I click this button and this becomes official, any issues, I cannot help you. Like, do you do that disclaimer, or do
no,
you just let
not
it
at all.
slide?
Not at all. I don't even go
Okay.
there, because I've had my own like experiences with insurance and have felt that way a time or two. Like, why didn't my agent go to bat for me? And the truth is, they just can't. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
So I usually know I leave people my number, I open it up. I'm like, call me for anything, anytime if you have questions. If you hate your plan, call me back. How do I know if I did a good job if you don't call me? If you don't like it,
Right.
we'll find something else for you. So I do put in a little like there's potential that you're gonna hate it once you're in it, but I do it in a way that's like I'm here to help you through it, right? I'm not here
Yeah.
to hurt you. I'm here to help you. So we're
Well,
not
you took my
evil.
money. No, no. See, I didn't take your money.
I personally did not. That's how much it costs, and then these are the fees, and it's all up front.
Right?
So,
Like, I didn't come up with this price.
right, I am not the insurance company. I'm just here to help you get into it. So don't
Oh
hate
my
me for
God.
that.
Yeah. I
But
I unfortunately I run into that job with mine because I work I work at home, but I work at a call center.
okay.
But every phone call that you take is for a different company, and unless it literally says, um, I'm with the answering service, unless it literally like I'm with the message service or the answering, unless it literally says that in the opening thing, I have to pretend I work for that company. So
Oh,
a lot of times they're asking me all these freaking questions, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take 15 seconds to look at the overview. Is there a question in there? Is it on the FAQ? Okay, I do apologize. I don't know the answer to that. And they're like, well, do you work there? Yeah, but I'm brand new. Like I have to make up all these stupid excuses. And
really?
yeah, that's the part of it that I don't like is I feel very dishonest when I'm literally pretending But that's what the companies want us to do
Part of your
as
job.
the message service. Yeah, they want us to act like we work there. And then it's like, okay, well, you kind of painted me into a corner, so now I'm going to tell the truth. And
Right.
it's up to you to let them know that you made me lie from the beginning. Like, that ain't my fault.
Yeah. Yeah. And at that, I'm sure with that said, since they believe you actually work for that company, you at that moment are the company. I bet you take a lot of slack from people that way, you know.
It depends on what they're calling in for. Like, if it's, this is the third time I've called for this and all anyone ever does is take a message and no one calls me back, I'm going, okay, well, let's see if I can, because I'm very good with words, and like reassurance, but there's only so much I can do. Like,
Right.
even when I'm saying I'm going to mark this as urgent and then I'm going to send it in internal company wide, I still can't guarantee a callback.
Fair.
So I've got to blow it up to be something more. And again, that's another problem that I have with it. Because some of the calls that I take, I'm like, after it ends, I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, I hope they get their call back. And then I'm telling my lead, like, why are we? I've actually even asked before. They're like, and I've asked like the higher ups. They said, are there any questions that you have about the company? I said, yeah. Why the hell are we doing it this way? Like,
Right.
why aren't we literally every time we answer the phone, I'm with their message service. I don't actually work for the company. I'm going to take a message from you and forward it to the office. How can I help you? Why aren't we doing that every time? Why aren't we
What
being honest fresh out the gate?
what do they tell you? What do they give you as a reason when you say that?
That's not what the clients want. So, yeah, we're doing what they want us to do. But me personally, I'm like I
Yeah.
get it. A lot of people are going to hear I'm with their answering service. I'm going to take a message and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to go, okay, I'll call back tomorrow. But
Right.
fine. That's their, let them do it. They're going to call back tomorrow. Cool. Let them call back tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't fucking lie to them.
Well, and they think they're going to call back tomorrow and get somebody outside of the answer, like get somebody at the actual company. And I'm sure a
Yeah.
lot of the company's image, they don't want people to know how cheap they are, outsourcing work to, not that answering services are cheap, but, outsourcing their work and not employing true
Yeah.
dedicated representatives of their own and taking the time and money to train them with the ins and outs of their business so the experience is personalized.
Yeah. I don't know. The one part about it, that I find truly fascinating, though, because there's a flip side to this coin, is
Mhm.
when people are calling and they get me, and like the company that I'm taking the message for is like a dental office or a law firm or a hospital, even like an auto shop, and they're like, "You're not open on a Sunday? What fucking planet do you live on? Where places like that are open on a Sunday?
Yeah.
Seriously.
So is it
Like,
more
did you
like,
not Google the hours? Fuck,
right, right. Have you not done business there beforehand?
right?
So do you do mostly like messaging services, or are you a guest service agent or tech
No,
agent? What
it's
kind of
literally
person do
all
you?
message service, but there are some where I can actually schedule their appointment. There are some where I can gather all of their information, and there is information on the FAQ page where if they ask a question, I can literally answer them. And
Mhm.
then there are moments where I can transfer them to someone within the company to
Okay.
actually answer all of their questions based on the actual company. But
Right.
there's only ever so far we're able to go because
Right.
we don't actually work for them. So like I wouldn't be able to tell you how many employees work there. I don't work there. I'm just kind of pretending I'm working there. So there's only so far I can go.
Right.
I love the job. It's just that underlying, like, I hate the fact that a lot of the times I have to pretend I work there, and then
Hmm.
I've got to show sympathy towards someone more, not because of their situation, but because I can't help them, and I know I can't help them.
Right. Right.
but I can't tell them I can't help them. Like,
So
fuck.
the politics and the policies of any employment situation to me are always the worst part, regardless of
Yeah.
how much you do or you do not like the work you're doing. It's always the politics that get in the way, right? The little
Yeah.
quirk you don't agree with on a fundamental level, but you got to get past, you know, unless it's completely ruining your experience. That's a whole different level of.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like my absolute favorite phone call to take is people that are pissed off right out the gate. To be honest, because then the first like 2 to 3 minutes is this just them ranting, and I'm just typing everything they say, and then they not only feel like I listened, but they know I listened because everything they said was typed out, and then I'm literally reading it back to them. And they're
Okay.
like, "Oh my god, finally someone who listened." And by the end of the phone call, they're not angry anymore. Even if I wasn't able to directly help them or transfer them, they feel like I helped because they're like, "Oh my god, the last person wasn't this thorough." And I'm like, "Guilty," you know, like
Yeah.
um I do end up keeping them on the phone longer than the company would want. But at the same time, I am gathering about 3 times the amount of information than they had the last time. And maybe that's why they didn't call back yet. Because the message that the last person took was just like, hey, they need a callback.
Right.
When, and mine is like, hey, they need a callback because of this. This is what happened. This is why it happened. This is when. This is how. And then they're like,
Right.
oh shit, we should have called them.
Yeah. And think about, you know, how validating it is just to be heard, to have somebody listen and
Yeah.
then echo what you said. Sometimes that's enough to bring us down. So I want, you know, think about the people that you've helped just by being thorough and allowing them to go off on their
Yeah.
tangent. You know,
I know
that's
I've gotten a lot of praise, and that's okay. It makes me look forward to the next phone call. But then again, I never know what kind of phone call I'm gonna have.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's that Russian roulette feeling where
yeah.
you never know. You never know.
I can relate. Same with my job. I mean, we do completely different things, but we do the same thing in this. We both work at home and we field telephone calls, and you never know who's on the other line, right? So I get all kinds of people calling me for all kinds of reasons, right?
Right?
They're angry at Medicare, or they want to speak to somebody in the Social Security Administration, or something completely outside of my ability and power to even help them, right?
Yeah.
And before I can even get their name, they're going off their floor. They're yelling at me. I'm the bad guy. So those come along. Those are,
Yeah.
you know, do you like those situations? I don't, because then I have to disappoint. Say, you know, I hear you and I apologize for your experience, but I'm an insurance agent. You know, let me direct you to the right agency here.
Yeah.
And then they have to go through it again. I feel bad when that happens. You know.
Oh my god. I had one where they called, and the company that I was representing at that time was literally like pool cleaners. Pool cleaners. Okay, keep that in mind.
Okay.
And when they called, they gave me their name and they started going off, and it was about a social security claim. Like, I put this in weeks ago and blah blah blah, and like they called a pool cleaner where I could have literally said, hey, this is the wrong number, I do apologize, but no, they just kept going and
Yeah.
going, and then eventually, like, they took a breath so that they didn't pass out. And I was like, before you continue talking, let me make sure that you're clear of what's going on. You called a pool cleaning company. I do
Right.
apologize, but everything that you just said, I can't help you. And they're like, oh my God. And they hung up the phone. I'm like, how long would that have gone if I
Yeah.
hadn't interrupted? And how long would that conversation have gone? They just kind of would have kept going on and on and on. Like, no, if you need your pool serviced, I can help you.
Yeah. And do you feel like at that wrong, I feel like an obligation to interrupt. Like, whoa, I know this is taking a lot of
Yeah.
time and energy for you, and you're hoping it's going to go somewhere. Let me just stop you and say, I feel for you, but let's
Wrong
just,
number.
wrong number. I
Wrong
wish I
number.
could help you. Like, I'm on your side. Let me get you to the person you need to get to.
Yeah.
And then I'm
And they
Googling.
Yes,
Who are
Nationwide is on your side. Oh my God, I use Google. I use Google a lot, and we're actually told not to unless it is in the script that we're using to talk to them. We're actually
yeah,
not supposed to. So a lot of the times I'll do it, and I just won't say that I'm doing it out loud, and then all of a sudden I'm coming up with information that I shouldn't know. But I'm
oh,
not saying I used Google.
do they record your calls like when you're
Yes. Yeah.
gotcha. You're smart though. You're smart.
But no one that I've done that to has come back with like, hey, he's not supposed to be doing this. Like they haven't praised it, but they
Sure.
haven't said don't do it either because I helped the caller even further.
Yeah, and
So,
I'm going above and beyond, honestly.
yeah.
And it's not like you're violating company policy
Nope.
erroneously, recklessly. I mean, if anything, you're helping their image. So
Yeah. Like there was literally one where they were like, hey, I'm on a phone that you're not going to be able to call back, and I'm trying to find directions to this place. I said, okay, hang on. And I
yep.
literally said on the call, I'm going to pull up Google, give me the nearest address you're at, and then I'll find where it is. And I walked them through it over the phone. And then I told my lead, like, hey, I literally gave them the recording to the call. I said, if this is wrong, then be prepared for them to bitch. But if I didn't do this, they would not have found the place. They would not have spent their money there.
Yeah.
So here you
Well,
go. Like,
I mean, I think good job. I'd have told you good job. Like, hey, thanks, man. Like, good looking out for that person. So
right.
yeah.
I try to as best I can. It's challenging sometimes.
Oh, it can be. I'm sure. I know it is. Yep.
So I'm interested because we both work at home.
Yeah.
So I'm envious of people who work at home and all they do is have to type all day. Like they work the chat system, like that web chat, and all
Yeah.
they have to do is type shit all day. They don't actually have to take phone calls. So like what's your biggest, because like look, you and I work from home, all we do is field calls. We literally have zero to bitch about. But we still do because that's what people do. What's your
Yeah.
biggest gripe?
My biggest gripe is that even though I'm working from home, I still have to get up and go through the motions and get dressed and be presentable because I never know when I have a manager. I never know when my team manager is going to pop in and be like Zoom meeting or coaching or one-on-one or QA or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
so
yours aren't scheduled? They just pop in whenever?
we have some that are scheduled, but no,
Yeah.
I mean, just pop in whatever. It's kind of a fly by type of job anyway. I mean, everybody's so different and every circumstance is so different. And our calls will go on. Like I'll be on the phone first with someone for 2.5 hours, you know. Yeah. So I mean, I'll miss a meeting and then I'll have to have a one-off with manage it on my own time, but it's always some kind of Zoom. So I think if I have any gripes, and again, I feel very fortunate to work from the comfort of my living room.
Right.
However, there's those days where I do want to sleep in and feel, just go to work in my pajamas, hair unwashed. And I know there's certain people out there who do. So having to be ready, be camera ready all the time. I always have to be on. I would like to turn it off sometimes and just be me.
Yes.
But I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. It's an exchange. I'm happy to not have to go into any office. I'm
Right.
happy to not have to go to people's homes, right? And have those weird coffee situations, and then they think you're their best friend, and there's nothing wrong with getting to know your insurance agent, but I'm doing my job.
Right. Like I'm here to do work.
But no, and I'll have people like look me up on Facebook and try to invite me to their family gatherings and stuff. I'm like, where do I draw the line? I usually don't respond, but
I mean, yeah, like not responding is probably the easiest way because that is the line. Then you don't have to come up with an excuse. You don't have to worry about breaking anyone's heart. You don't have to listen to the but. You just don't respond.
I just don't, and that way I don't hurt anybody's feelings. But like you said, the boundary's set, and also if I don't acknowledge I received the message, right? They don't know if I'm not the right girl. So
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, you went hunting for me, which it both flatters me and terrifies me.
At the same time, yes. Yeah.
So let's not even acknowledge that this happened.
Right.
And I'm still happy to speak to you and help you. So
Right.
we don't even have to make it uncomfortable.
Probably a good thing we were already following each other, otherwise this would have been awkward.
Not really, because it's not work related. I mean,
Still,
like work boundaries. I mean, maybe it would have been weird. I would have been like, if I didn't know you, I would be like, how did you find me? What's your interests? You know, what do you do with the information? I probably wouldn't have done it, actually.
Yeah, probably wouldn't have responded, but that's okay.
No, but we've interacted, you know, try our hand in ways. So I mean,
I've had people be like, "Oh my God, that's exciting! I've never been on a podcast." That's one reaction. Another one is, "Sure, but why me?" That one's probably my most common. And then another one that I get sometimes is, you know, "Sure, let me know when you go live." I'm like, I don't do it here on TikTok.
That's that first one I thought you were talking about.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to have to watch what I say, first of all.
Right.
You know, and you cannot record on TikTok. They actually, like the screen recording lives, that feature is no longer allowed. As soon as you drop and you do screen record, it only allows you to record the screen. You can't record the sound.
Interesting.
It doesn't allow it anymore because people were using it against each other.
TikTok's brutal sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, like I've been asked that. Let me know when you go live. It's not on here, man. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it there.
I did go check out your YouTube. So I had the same thing. I'm like, I don't know what he wants with me. I'm boring AF, but I think I always like to support, and I like these interactions. I like getting to know people that I've met online, and it takes it out of the environment where we know each other, makes it a little bit more real.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's supportive.
And I mean, the other part is, I mean, like if you did check them out, then you heard me mention it already, is you can look at, you know, 15 different podcasts on YouTube and every one of them have the same person on it. And as much as you like that celebrity, there's only so many times you can hear them talk. And like none of these podcasts ever have regular people. Like, where's the construction worker? Where's the freaking, you know, just where's the stay-at-home mom that just needs to vent for 90 minutes about the children she takes care of? Like, where are the regular fucking people?
Right.
So I figured, what the hell, I'll do it.
There you go. So what would you say like is your ultimate goal for your YouTube, for your podcast? Like,
honestly, to have fun. I've discovered, and this isn't negative Nancy, this is just me. I've discovered when I set goals, they don't happen. And they don't happen mainly because it's not an inflated ego or anything like that. They don't happen because I hyper focus. And then those little things that you need to notice in life that are going to take you this way or that way, I don't notice them because I'm right here.
Okay.
So just like people, I'm just tunnel vision the whole fucking time. So those little things that can take a video up, they never happened.
Yeah.
So
I'm similar. I'm terrible with goals. Not so much for me. It's not a hyper focus. To me, it's being placed in the box and constraints. Like I automatically go into resist forms of control. Like I already am not going to do it. You know, I'm going to self-sabotage at that point. So.
Yeah. I mean, I know, and that's the thing I worry about this, by the way, because I'm only posting these videos once a week on Saturday. That's my day. Okay. And right now, I think you are number 13.
Okay.
So literally for the next 3 months, I could not do a single one of these and be perfectly fine.
Oh, so you've got a whole roll going.
Yeah, I got a whole queue going. But the bad part about this is I know who I am. And if I don't keep this going, like at least talk to one person, 2 people a week and keep that queue growing and just take those 3 months off, I'm not going to come back.
It's too easy, right?
It's way too easy to just disappear. So that's another one of the problems with my goals is like it is at first I was struggling to come up with things because I would record it, put it up, record it, put it up, record, and then that became too much. I was like, I can't. Like, first of all, I ran out of ideas. I ran out of time. I had to start focusing on other things. But now I'm doing the complete opposite of that and building up a queue. And my brain's going, "Hey, take a break. You could take a break now. You could no, stop."
Not today.
So not today, no. So
Yeah.
like
How
I've
long?
got. Go ahead.
I'm an interrupter. That's like
Yeah,
my.
no, it's all right. I am too. I am too. I am too. I think we've been interrupting each other back and forth the whole time. So it's
I'm
okay.
okay with it. I like it that way. I was gonna ask how long you've been doing this. When did you start?
I mean, like, you mean the YouTube thing or just in general? Because
Both. I guess that's a two-part question, right? So how long have you been doing YouTube thing? And if you've been doing it longer than that, how long and how'd you get started? What's your story, in other words?
well, I'll answer the second part first. I've been involved in social media for 18 years.
Okay.
Too long. Let's just too long. We'll underline that a few times.
Okay.
YouTube started mainly because when I was living up in New Hampshire. I live in Florida now. When I was living up in New Hampshire, I was actually I wasn't doing the YouTube thing or Twitter or Facebook or any of that shit. I was actually getting on stage and I was actually doing stand-up comedy. I was actually getting up and telling the jokes. And the YouTube thing started because when I moved down to Florida, the whole 3-year foundation that I built up there, which 3 years in the game is not a whole lot of time. That's like infancy for comedy.
Okay.
10 years is like basically just starting, depending on, yeah, it takes a while. Like I was getting paid for it right off, but I shouldn't have been because I wasn't even really developed yet. But after 3 years, I had myself my own little like niche, and I had a biker bar that enjoyed me performing there. I had VFW halls that enjoyed me performing there. I had people on my Facebook that wanted to see me, not just because they were my friends, but because they were friends of friends and were told I was funny. They come to a show, and all of my shows were different. And it wasn't because I thought that I figured it out. It was just because I get bored of saying the same shit all the time.
Yeah.
So I would have a couple of jokes that I would bring that I knew were going to work. And then the rest of the show, I tried to just go off the seat of my pants, which I'm very good at when I'm on stage. When I'm put on the spot, I can just shoot off at the hip or off at the mouth because I don't talk from my hip. But like so I had this whole thing, and then when I moved down to Florida, I was like, fuck, I'm not starting all over again. God damn, man, no. Like no, I'm way too lazy for that. Plus we were trying to rebuild. The kids were in a whole new state, whole new schools, whole new doctors, whole new everything. So I was like, okay, well, by the time I get all of this done, my stage presence is going to be, because it doesn't take long to lose it.
Gotcha.
So that's where I started doing YouTube. Like, okay, this is an outlet. I'll use it here. And at that point, I was using Twitter, which I've been banned from both, by the way. I'm not welcome back on Facebook or Twitter because of my dark sense of humor. I'm not allowed there. Yeah, the jokes you hear me tell on TikTok are very watered down. They're not even the real joke.
I want to hear the good stuff then. Jeez.
Like I find it funny when people are like, "Oh my god, that's funny, that's sick." Like you have no idea. I had one person tell me that they enjoy my stuff on TikTok because it's cringeworthy. Like, you don't have a clue, man. You have no idea. The way I told that was told so it would stay up.
Jeez.
It's not the real joke. I had to choose my words very, very carefully, and it's cringe because it had to be.
Right.
But anyway, so on Twitter, I would ask those questions, and for some reason people would answer them. So I then would screenshot all of the answers, and then I would read them for the first time on record. And
Cool.
it was hilarious all the friggin' time, but I got bored with doing it. Because, like, the answers were similar or the questions were similar, they were just asked in different ways, and then I could never think of anything to do besides that. So all of it was just like, I asked this question, here's the answer, so it was just the same shit, just the
Right.
same, recycled sewage water over and over and over again. And I did it for a year. I had like 100 videos posted on YouTube in after a year, week after week. I did it for 12 months. And then my naive nature of how YouTube actually works, because YouTube is a career. So it's not like TikTok where you can take off from one video and all of a sudden you're famous. YouTube is a career. It takes a while to build. YouTube literally challenges you to post for a year or two, week after week after week. Put in the work before they will take your video and start pushing it out to people.
No kidding.
It's a challenge. It's a career. Like, YouTube is meant to be a lifelong career. And a lot of people don't get that. I didn't get that. So after a year, I'm like, fuck it. I don't have subscribers. No one's watching my stuff. And I quit. And then Twitter was gone because I was banned from there. Facebook was gone because I was banned from there. And then I literally took a break from social media for like a year. I was
Okay.
like, fuck it. So between stopping the first time and doing what we're doing now was a 3-year gap.
Okay.
3 years in between. And now it's TikTok and here. And people are like, oh, get this app and no. First, I have no interest in Instagram. Clapper is just another TikTok that allows you to be, more volatile, but it's still, if the people that run it don't like you, they're not going to push your stuff. So it's, yeah.
I got
so I just
Clapper. They
got
unbanned
banned from Clapper.
They thought I was a little kid.
Oh.
Oh, I thought it turned into this whole like comedy thing, and then it just turned into me being like a belligerent asshole because it was fun. Like,
Yeah.
I sent them like a Photoshop of my driver's license, my birth certificate. I'm like, you guys want a blood sample? What do you want? Just like,
Yeah.
But
That's
so
funny.
like you said, it just depends. It depends.
Yeah.
But they take the whole like 17 plus thing pretty darn serious.
Yeah.
Pretty darn.
Yeah. So like I haven't posted on TikTok since January. I might go back, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
Probably not.
No,
So,
why?
oh, I mean, the only reason that I'll probably post on there now is giving little clips of what we're doing here.
You got this going on now. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I ever do go back, it'll be like, hey, check out the little clip of this interview. I spoke to this person. Like, here you go. Like, but other than that, I don't think I'm gonna go back.
No. Yeah, I mean, use it to plug your YouTube, if anything, or fortify it, right? Direct traffic to it.
Basically.
I've gotten less into TikTok, I guess, the further we get into the pandemic. It started off really fun when I had all the time in the world, and that's really my only concern was making a TikTok for fun that day.
Yeah.
And I think ever since I started back to work, I took a period of time off work. And I actually spent 23 years in food service before insurance. So I went from that, I took a break into insurance. And once I started doing this, I'm like, TikTok takes a lot of time. It's not as fun as it used to be. So I post occasionally now. Occasionally.
Man, that is a hell of a change, though. Like,
it's scary.
How is that adjusting, though? Because those aren't even similar. Other than the fact that all the people you deal with and both eat, that's the only thing that's the same. Like, what kind of food service? Because there's like 1,000 of them.
You name it. So I'm a classically trained French chef.
Okay.
My focus was on sustainability and nutrition. So
okay.
Food service is an industry full of 1,000 different industries. Like I said, go anywhere. You name it, I've done it. I did it for 23 years. Done everything from dishwashing to fine dining, to general management, pizza shops, catering, marketing, you name it. I did it.
Why'd you leave?
But I got jaded. The pandemic, actually. So I don't.
Okay.
I was a general manager at a restaurant at the beginning of the pandemic, and it worked out for the most part of 2020. I had already been feeling jaded and tired with my career, like I needed to move it into a different direction anyway. And
Yeah.
I, for a couple years, been playing with the idea of maybe making a career switch or trying to take it in a different direction. I just didn't have the bravery, and it was never the time, and all these excuses. But the pandemic, really shifted my perspective on employment, finances, what I put into my career, where I could go, my age. It was a really huge period of introspect. So I decided to do it, just try it out. I really wanted to work from home. I'm getting older, right? So the 16-hour days, 7 days a week, constant phone calls, constant stress. I was feeling that. So why did I leave? I was jaded and tired.
Yeah.
Ready for a change. Not that I hated it. Just did it too long. So this, I never meant to be an insurance agent. The opportunity just kind of came. I found a company who was willing to bring me on and give me a shot. So you're correct. They're very different. But what I have, is the discipline from being in food service, as well as the ability to talk to people. And really, if you're smart enough to get your license and learn the industry, all you really have to do is talk to people. So that's kind of where I connect the dots to.
Yeah.
Oh, and then legal end, I dealt a lot with restaurant law just throughout my career, like having to be involved in policy procedures. So understanding how law transfers, to actions in employment situations. I think that helps. Insurance is a regulated industry, but to my delight, it's working out better. When I first made the transition, I was terrified. I didn't know how it was going to work. I didn't even know if I wanted to do it. So I took a risk, and so far it's played out really nicely. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm enjoying the pay. I'm enjoying the reduced amount of stress, working from my own home. Probably the first time in my life I've experienced weekends and evenings and holidays. So I like that.
Yeah, right. That's different. That's a big one right there.
My dog spent. Yeah, I mean,
what was your first weekend like? I bet you had no idea what the hell to do.
I spent a lot of days. Nothing. I didn't know what to do with myself. I spent a lot of time trying to adjust. Like, what do I do? Okay, I've dreamed of this moment for years, having all this time, feeling rested. So at first it was catching up on rest, just lounging and allowing myself to be okay with it. And then after a while, I would literally just sit on my couch in silence. I'm not a big TV watcher. Right. And suddenly I had burned through all the fun stuff. I'm like, what do I do?
Hey! That is a cat in the front yard. What the hell you're barking at?
Yeah, so I think my very first free weekend, I lounged. I took advantage of it. I didn't hold myself to anything. I ordered from restaurants and made people cook for me instead of the other way around.
Oh, yeah.
For a long time, I didn't eat out because the experience wasn't enjoyable for me. So, but I think, after weekend 2 or 3, I was just bored. I had to get out of my house more.
Right.
I didn't.
Like, okay.
What I miss.
Silence.
What I miss is the experience. I don't miss going to work, but I miss having that experience of coming home and being like, I feel so good to be back in my own space. That was probably one of the most pleasure-inducing experiences, is coming home and to my own space. I don't get that anymore.
Right.
My desk, I turn around, I'm in my house. So now it's like, it's a treat when I get to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's like, because like that was with me too, because I've always worked outside the house and I always wanted to be inside the house because I'm a homebody. I love being at home. Yeah. But again, it is that different thing where when you work outside the house, you're like, oh my God, I get to go home. Mm-hmm. You have that. I get to go home. And then you
Yeah.
work at home and you're like, oh, I get to turn around.
Yeah, there's nothing to break up the day or really look forward to, other than clocking out. I'm like,
Do
okay.
you get to choose your own hours, or are they set?
Nope, they're set. They're pretty. I work 8.5-hour days, 5 days
Nice.
a week, every weekend off. There's a period of time between October 15th and December 7th that the days get longer, and it's 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. But
Yeah.
I also make an entire salary in 7 weeks during that time, so I'll work as much as you need me.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean,
Uh,
that is one of those things where it's like, oh God, here it comes. But then it gets there, and you start seeing and you're like, okay, yep, keep it coming, keep it coming.
I can
But
do this 7 weeks.
but I'm betting at the end of that 7th week, you're like, thank God that's over.
I'll be dead, aching from sitting. I mean,
Yeah.
I've purchased a standing desk for next season, so I don't have
Yes.
the eight.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
surreal. I think I felt more tired doing that than I ever did working a 16-hour shift on my feet. So
Yeah.
so I've also played with venturing out and becoming an independent agent. But what I like about being employed with a company is it gives me security as a late age job switcher. I'm like, the liability is still on your company, right? I can still quit if I need to. I still get PTO, but all the perks that come along with being employed.
Yeah. Rather than it being your own.
So I went from not making my schedule to having my schedule made for me. I went from being the manager to the one being managed, but I'm honestly enjoying the switch up. I'm like, I don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
You don't have to worry about shit. Yeah. That's
my job and go home. I don't know what people dislike about that, but I love it.
But I mean, and you can put that on a lot of things. Like that's one of the main reasons why I struggle with the idea of buying my own home, because I live in a house right now. Like my house is a good size. I've got a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, for my softball team of children I have running around here, and my friggin' zoo of animals I decided to bring home, and of course my wife. But like if something goes wrong, I make a phone call.
Right.
And they pay for it. Hey, send someone out here. This is happening. That's happening. I need this fixed. I'd like that fixed. They send someone here and they pay that bill, and they pay to mow our lawn, and they pay to take our trash away. And I don't have to worry about any of that shit. I worry about, the Wi-Fi, because for some reason we felt that we needed it. Now we can't get rid of it. And I pay for the electricity, and I pay for the water.
Yeah. The basics, and you know what to expect, right? And then beyond that, it's somebody else's problem.
But like I go and I buy a house, all of a sudden all those issues are mine.
Yeah. I mean, they say you can count on spending 1% of your total house value the first year you're in it on repairs. I mean, I'm with you. I prefer renting. I've played with the idea of buying a house because everybody's like, it's cheaper, right? You can't go wrong with owning property. I'm like, and that might be true. And I don't like that level of responsibility, right? I don't feel like I have that much money saved up to where if something came up, I could still live comfortably, right?
Yeah. Like I quite and I explained it, and like I'm so glad, because I explained it to my wife, and she was on the exact same page, which is great. It wasn't one of those things where I explained it and they were like, but like, no, we were right there. So the way we want to do it is and this is why we haven't yet. So, but what we want to do is find a house that we want to buy, and have every dime that we need to purchase it. So like there is no mortgage, but what we would do rather than doing that, because that can actually be dangerous too, is so say like it's a $250,000 home, okay, and we have the 250 grand plus the 10 grand for closing or whatever the fuck it would be at that point. So we have the 260, and then we have the money for taxes, and we have all of that. So what we would do instead is take 100 grand and throw it down, and then the remaining money we would actually put into an account and have everything be on auto pay. We'd have the mortgage be on auto pay, the taxes, the all the bills, everything. And then if there was anything extra at the end, it would just stay there. That
I like,
way, that way, not only does it build our credit, but if we did need extra money for anything else, like we need to buy furniture because there's a room we weren't prepared for, or something goes wrong with the house, and we have X amount of dollars left at the end of the month, we use that toward it. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you are going after a home that's 250 grand and you don't have at least five, you shouldn't buy the house.
I'm with you. I think
Especially if you're going to pay it outright, you know what I mean? Because then you're left with zero, and then you're
right.
going to walk into a whole mess of problems you don't have money for, and then you're
Yeah.
back to paycheck until you can fucking get the money to do it. So if you
Yeah.
don't have at least like if I had 500 grand, then yeah, I would. The 250,000, I'd buy it, I'd pay all the taxes on it, I'd pay the closing on it, because then I'd still have 200 some odd in case shit went wrong.
I like that a lot. Like, I like your idea of paying half and then leaving the other in the account. I think
Yeah.
that's super responsible, and that's kind of my level of thinking too. It's not that I wouldn't want to eventually, but it costs a lot of money. So I think a lot of people rush into home ownership, not anticipating the true level of responsibility and finances. And
Yeah.
like you said, they end up going back to living paycheck to paycheck. And to me, that is completely counterproductive, right?
Yes.
What's the point of having this thing, this home that you worked so hard to get, and then you're miserable trying to keep it, right? The
Yeah.
whole idea is to bring peace and happiness and security. I'm like,
Yeah.
then the bank owns it, so then you got to worry about being homeless and being able to pay for a house. I'm like,
Yes.
buyer's remorse, I think, is a huge thing for people.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that we haven't done it yet.
Yep. I hear you. But you will,
but,
when you're ready, you'll get that money
yeah.
saved up. Yeah.
But then, of course, we're both dreamers. So she'll stumble onto a house on Facebook where she's like, oh my God, this is beautiful. It's exactly what we need. And then I'll look at the price tag and I'm like, no. Like, are you out of your fucking mind? No. Like, even if we had the money, I don't think I would do that. You kidding me?
You don't ever just go shopping for stuff that you're not going to buy or can't afford, and just like that moment and let yourself believe you're going to have it? No?
No.
Oh,
No,
I do.
no, like I used to. I used to be the window shopper.
Right?
I used to be the window licker that would, stand there and fog up the window with fantasy. I used to be that. And then I can't say that I grew up. I can say that I got jaded, the word that you used, where I'm like, I'm not going to do this to myself again.
Gotcha.
Because I am a dreamer. So I'm like, I really want to get that. And then everything about my life will be getting that thing. And then it's like, fuck. So I let my wife do the window shopping.
Gotcha. I'm a total window shopper. I'll fill up shopping carts at 5 different online stores. Some of them I don't even know how to get back to. I know I'm not going to buy that stuff.
Right.
But it's just fun for me. I don't know. Boredom buster, dreaming, fantasy. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we spend money enough as it is. So window shopping, no. Like when I want it, I go get it. That's it. I can't. I don't pre-plan because then I forget all the things I actually need.
Right.
Like I'm not a list shopper because it never works anyway. I already know what I want before I get there, but if I make a list, nothing on that list gets put in the cart. It's everything I walk by. So okay, for an example, we go grocery shopping. We go to the store or we go just to the store. So there's 5 things on the list. Now, one of those 5 things goes in the shopping cart, but we walk by something and we're like, hey, we can use this. We throw in the cart. And then we get up to the thing and we're scanning it all in. And I'm looking at the list like, did we get any of this? Like, no. So that's neither of us are list shoppers. We're impulsive buyers. So I'm glad, like, she can do the window thing. I'm glad at least one of us is like, no, no, I'm not gonna window shop because
One
I think we'd
good
be
balance.
completely broke if both of us were window shoppers. I think we'd be completely broke.
Quite
Yeah.
possible. Quite possible.
Yes. Because we would fill up the shopping cart on the online store and actually confirm the purchase. That's the problem.
Seek confirmation from the other. Should I click
Yeah.
save? Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't forget to add this.
Oh no, I've asked her before too, like because I already know the answer. But I'll walk in there and be like, "Hey, I put these in the cart, and this is what it totals. Do you want me to pay for it?" And she goes, "Yeah," and then I'll confirm. But she'll do it back to me. I'm like, "No, no, no, no," because like the things that she's buying or the price she gives me, like, no, you got to get rid of some of that. So I keep track of the finances
Okay. All right.
because what I'm actually good at, believe it or not, is keeping track of finances because I'm like Eugene Krabs. I'm very cheap. Um, but it's okay. It's
You're the
okay.
balancer. You're the balancer. You keep it level.
Yeah,
Keep it
yeah.
level.
And
Somebody's
it's not only what we need. Like we're about to take a 4-day vacation. We didn't need it, but my wife has been working 7 days a week for the last 4 months, and she needs it.
yeah.
So I was like, and it was funny too. She came home from work one day, and I was like, "Hey, I got us a hotel room for these days, so I need you to tell your boss that you're taking these days." So I got the hotel for 4 days and 3 nights, but
Nice.
I told her to tell her boss that she's taking 7. And
Gotcha.
she was and her first response is, "Well, I don't know if I can." I said, "Do you want me to call your boss? Because I will. Like you're taking this vacation whether he wants you to or not." And the reason is she needs the fucking break.
Yeah, 7 days
Um,
for 3, 4 months, you said? That's well deserving of a break. That's not
yeah,
that's beyond deserving. That's needed. You must
yeah.
take a break. Yeah.
So like the excuse, like I said, I wasn't trying to like twist her arm. You know what I mean? Just I knew that she needed it, and I knew the only way that she was going to do it is not by asking. Like I had to be the prick in that scenario. I had to go in and be like, "Hey, you're doing this."
Yeah.
Not that I enjoy telling her what to do, but I had to like just you're doing this whether you want to or like I will freaking drag you by your ankles if I have to because you need this. I know you
Yeah.
need this.
You're looking out for her best interest, right?
Yeah.
And you have to
And,
know it.
but like the excuse of why not started because it was the same excuse every time. It started to bother me more and more. So she's about to take over the store.
Okay.
So because she's about to take over the store, she's trying to get herself in the mindset that she's already taken over the store, which is a good thing to do. You get yourself
Yeah.
prepared.
Yeah.
However, she is not being paid like that. So the one that runs the store is on salary. So whether they go home or they're sleeping or they're on vacation or they're in the bathroom, they're having, explosive diarrhea from the night before, they're still getting paid.
Yep.
When
Salary.
she take when she takes that phone call after hours when she gets home or gets back in the car and goes to the store to deal with a problem, she's not getting paid for that. So getting yourself prepared is one thing. Doing shit for free that your boss should have been doing is a whole different beast.
Boundary.
Learning their job while you're on the clock and doing their job for them when they're getting paid and you're not.
Yeah.
No. So every time I would say, "Hey, you need a day off, you need a day off," it would be, "I'm trying to take the store, I'm trying to take the store." Yeah, I know that, but you haven't yet. So fucking take a step back and chill. Like,
Enjoy your time while you have it.
yeah,
What kind of
yeah.
store is it, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh,
And you,
it's a Burger King, but it's a it's a weird one because like we live on a this town is very strange. So the north end of town is where like all the money is.
okay.
So believe it or not, the people on that end of town are very calm and cool and collected and nice and because they're not in a rush, they already have their money.
Yeah. Right.
So like when even when they go to a place like Burger King or McDonald's or Taco Bell. They're not like, give me my food. They're very reserved.
Sure.
And then on the south end of town, that's where the salary starts to drop.
Gotcha.
So all of those guys are like, I'm in a rush. I need to go to work. I have a coupon. I want free food.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck with you to get free food. I think
Yeah.
I'm better than you because you're here and I'm not, that kind of thing. So she's at that store.
Oh,
And she does have the mentality for it. But goddamn, I would not last a day in that store because
it's
well, first of all, I don't have a filter. I'm not I'm this age, you're not going to disrespect me. Like, that's not me. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up, quit being stupid, get the hell out of my store. Like, that's me. So
she doesn't have an easy job at all to begin with. I mean, even at a calm store, that's not an easy job.
No. It's very on all the time. And again, so that's the part that bothers me is her boss gets paid all the time. He's on salary. He gets paid all the time. So when there's an issue, when he leaves work and then he has to get back in his car and go back to work to deal with it, he gets paid. So when she does that for him, he sits at home and continues getting paid, and she's not. So he's getting paid for sitting on his ass at home while she does his job.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
again, training for his job while you're on the clock and doing it off the clock are two different things.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. And I think that is really common in food service. Doesn't matter what type of job you have, that's how it is. And
Yeah.
you give a person an inch, they're going to take a mile, right? You show somebody that you're willing to do the work and they don't have to pay you anymore, they're going to take
yeah.
And then they're going to start to expect it, right?
Yeah, and they do. But the problem is, if she were like, if there was an issue at the store and then she called him and said, hey, here's the issue, I'm not able to go, then he would go. The problem is with her, she's like, hey, this is the issue, I'm going to take care of it. Not do you want me to, not should I, hey, I'm going to deal with it. So the initiative is there, but it's like, come on, you gotta have it at the right moments.
You have to learn balance, but at the same time, it's that kind of mentality that got her the job too. So
Yes, I understand, man. I know. It's why she went from a brand new worker to basically assistant manager, second in command in 6 months.
Work ethic is everything.
That's why she flew up the chain.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't want to hire her back. It's actually the second time she worked at the store. They didn't want to hire her back. And when she went there, all she had to do was take, I think, 2 days to learn the new updated system because she hadn't worked there in 3 years. So tech grew.
Yeah.
She had to take like 2, maybe 3 days. And then she blew the doors off the place. She was running circles around the management that was there. She was like pushing them out of the way, like doing their job. And her boss now, who she's second in command to him, he was like, hey, I'm gonna make you a shift lead. Okay, all right, I'm gonna make you a manager. And it was like a week, and then a month later, it's like,
I bet she was like a breath of fresh air to them. Like, man, let's keep this girl. Let's put her up there.
Yeah, she's got a mouth on her though. She's my Jersey girl.
Is she from Jersey?
Yeah. Yeah, she's got about as much of a filter as I do, which is like none at all. So
I do and I don't. It depends on the situation. Depends on the situation. In food, it can come in handy. I mean, you got to have some pretty thick skin to work with the general public. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Hungry people lose their minds. They lose their minds.
Not just well, yeah. The hungry, yes, and then greedy, yes, and then self-entitled is probably the biggest one.
It's always that group. Yeah, the entitled group. Yeah. I hear you. It's sad. Those are the people I truly, that the abuse tends to come from. They don't understand human being is trying.
Yeah.
We're making your food. We are literally serving you, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the true dregs are the ones that they say thank you when they grab their bag, and then they come back in and they're like, "Hey, I ordered this and it wasn't in the bag, but it was in the bag." They're just going in to try and get free food. Like those are the true.
theft is huge. It comes from some people you'd never expect. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
those are the problems with places like that.
hmm
Or
Yeah.
the ones that get up to that drive-through speaker and they're like, "Hello," like, dude, fucking what?
Impatient people. Yeah. I've had money thrown at me on the timer too. Especially during the pandemic. My favorite is I don't know how they did things where y'all are at, but here in Houston, no cash was allowed to be exchanged, right? So we
Yeah,
actually didn't have any cash in our restaurant. We were completely disabled for our ability to take cash. And trying to explain to this one individual that, I want to take your money as much as I do, I can't. There's not even a way for me to put it into my system. It's been completely disabled. And I turned it around and let her see. I'm like, I just can't, And so it would be an unrecordable transaction. And as much as I want to take this money, I have a duty and obligation. We're in a pandemic. I have a duty and obligation to you and to my team and the other people who come into the store to keep them safe. Threw the money in my face, threw it in my face, and walked out without her food. I'm like, that's just don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Like,
okay, so hold on. So they lost their money because they threw it at you, and then they paid for something that they didn't get because they walked out without it, and they think they won that interaction.
yeah,
No,
I don't know.
not really. Like,
It just made everybody feel worse, right? They feel worse, I'm sure, or I hope.
see,
I feel bad. The team feels bad. I mean,
yeah, but like
there
you,
wasn't
but
anything personal about it for me, but
yeah,
yeah, they double lost your money and your food. And then,
yeah,
so I think a random team member actually was like, score. But,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
thanks for making someone's day like that, but it didn't have to be that experience,
right,
as much as I want to give you a free product, you did order, it costs money and
yeah.
can't. So.
I mean, but did you have signs on like the entrance door saying credit only and shit like that? Okay, then that wasn't your fault.
Posted online on the doors. People
Yeah,
would call it and ask, and most people are good. Like, I get it, but
yeah,
and here's the thing, like, you combine hunger with somebody having a bad day. I don't know what their day was like leading up to that moment. Maybe they had been told 50 times, and I'm the straw that broke their back.
yeah,
So, but to the point and the degree, in a pandemic to throw money that's dirty, and just that it was right at the very beginning when we were all like, oh, panic. So I'm
yeah,
like, that's super inconsiderate, as much as I understand where you're coming from or where you could be coming from.
yeah.
There's no
The
need to treat somebody like that. No need to treat
but
somebody like that.
the worst part is I bet you knew all of your years working working for people or with people, that interaction, some part of you had to know it was going to happen, because
Oh, yeah.
the moment they come up to the counter and the first time you said we're not allowed to accept cash, it has to be credit only, and then the moment you had to turn your monitor and go into that spiel, you're like, this isn't going to end well.
No, yeah, you get a feel for it. It
Yeah,
happens so often, more often than it should, right?
yeah,
And then you deal with people day in and day out. You eventually get to learn and read the
yeah,
audience,
you get to
right?
read the signs. Yeah,
And I knew it wasn't going to end well, but never ever did I see ever like anything physical. Like, I never saw anything physical. I thought, okay, maybe they're going to slam the door, they're going to yell, maybe raise up their hands, make a scene,
yeah,
and it's going to be typical drama. But never did I expect somebody to just literally, I'm like, what if that quarter would have went in my eye?
right. Well, I mean, I guess it's better than it being the food.
Better than food, better than the chair, could have been worse,
Yeah, at least you
trying to.
didn't have to go take a shower.
Yeah,
Like, I got to get this potato off my eyebrow. Can someone take over, please?
I just got a whole bucket of tomato. I got a pizza in my face,
Right?
guys.
Like I was hungry, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff that floors me. But you'll have that in food service, and demographics for everything. I've worked for restaurants that are chains. The stores are different. The culture is different from store to store because of the demographic, and you can't always control the culture because of the
God.
in the neighborhood.
Franchises are the worst.
They can be. Yeah,
Why aren't you in bed yet? Go to bed. You said that you were done the laundry like a half an hour ago. Go to bed.
Bedtime. What time is it? How long have we been at it?
An hour and 15 minutes.
No kidding. Okay. All right.
Yeah. These usually go that long. My shortest conversation I've had yet is 25 minutes. My longest has been like 2 hours.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess I was expecting maybe a half hour, but it's pretty easy once you get going. It's just you're really easy to talk to, too. So.
Apparently, my wife's easier because I've had there have been, and I don't take that personal. I understand completely because like I have a very like monotone, serious voice, and she's a weed smoker, so she's very like happy and bubbly.
Right.
I wish I could smoke weed. I can't do it, and it has nothing to do with my job. Like I literally, the last time I actually smoked, I forgot to breathe.
That's
I forget how. So like if I were smoking right now with you, I would talk until I passed out. I'd forget to stop and breathe, so I can't do it.
That's
And
intense.
then of course like I eat an edible and I get either really goofy or I like melt into the furniture and I have too much shit to do. I always have something to do.
Yeah.
So I can't be high. I just like I can't do it.
It's not for everybody. I mean, I think high school
I fully support it though. I fully support it though. I support everything about it. Make it legal. I don't care.
It's harmless. I mean, relatively compared to other legal things out there and pharmaceutical. I'm an occasional smoker. I don't have anything against it. I enjoy it. But the older I get, the less I want to.
Yeah.
If you would have caught me in high school or my 20s, I was just a complete pothead. I don't want to do anything except get high.
Hell yeah.
No,
I had my moments. It's weird because when I was younger, I was fine with it, and then the older I got, that's when like the breathing shit started to happen.
Yeah,
and
it very differently. Plus, it's getting stronger. You know, as it the development of cannabis and concentration of THC, different strains, I think, is developed. It's completely evolved into a different beast, right? Than your typical swag weed that you get from the neighbor kid.
Oh my god, yeah, just like the shit she gets.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, anymore it's like, I take a hit or two and you're seeing spacemen walk across your living room floor.
She came home like, and this is the pranks that she'll pull on me, okay? Because she knows that I can't handle it. But like this is how my wife and I will bust each other's balls. She comes home and she has a one of the vape pens that are pure, just like pure THC, no flower, just you puff, and it's like the nicotine, but it's THC. She goes, here, pull on this, it tastes good. I didn't know, I thought it was nicotine because I'm not a smoker, but I don't. It's okay because occasionally I'll smoke a cigar, so I'm not like, oh, like I won't die from that. No, pure THC. So I'm, and then I couldn't move. It hit me within I think like 30 seconds, and I could not move. I sat down on the couch and was like,
oh no,
just drooling, like I went catatonic. But and then like a few days later, she just walks up to me. And an edible, it was like a piece of a candy bar. Like they make them into candy bars now, kind of like Twix, but not. So she walks up and she goes, here, eat this, it tastes good. And I should have learned from the vape pen. So I was like, oh, all right. So I chew it up. I was like, what was that? She's like, it's a whatever milligram piece. I was like, God damn it. Like, I have stuff to do. Why would you do, like, I'm busy all day. Why would you do that? And I'm just waiting for the high to kick in because it's like, God damn it.
Here we go.
Do you need to go to bed?
What?
Oh. Well, Jesus, man. Here. God damn, you are. God, how dare you need a charger for your phone that's dying? What is wrong with you?
How evil.
I know there's I'm so to answer your one of your previous questions, what is my goal with this podcast?
Yeah.
Nothing but to have fun. The thing that I'm hoping for, if anything, is that people enjoy the conversations, they connect with the conversations, and if nothing else, they actually watch the entire thing. And the
Yeah.
reason why I'm saying that is because the traditional podcast people are at a desk, they've got their headphones on, they've got a list of questions, they're going over topics, all that shit. This is just free form conversation. But as like earlier, I got up and I went and yelled at my dogs, which
Yeah.
I'm not editing that part out. And then there's a couple of these where like one of them starts off with me making coffee as I'm talking to the person because they caught me while I was making coffee.
Mm.
Like the time that we were supposed to be on here was like I got up and I was like, okay, we'll send the link, and then they didn't join right off. So I got up and started making coffee, and then they
Right.
pop in. And I'm like, oh, hit record. Hey, what's up? Like, and then a couple of them. Oh, hang on. Switch ears. That one
Oh,
died. Yeah. And then a couple of them, like I had to go do laundry on one of them, so I ended up giving the AirPod to my wife, and I let her talk to the person, even though she didn't know them and they didn't know her. I was like, oh, here, just entertain them for a minute. I've got to go do this shit. And then one of them was offloading groceries out of the car. Again, handed it to my wife and was like, here, can you talk to them so that, they're not
yeah.
just sitting there in silence staring at my couch. So it's like little things that you'll catch if you watch the entire thing. Not only good conversation, I hope, but just I'm not the traditional where I can sit the whole time. I have to get up and move
Yeah.
because I constantly have shit going on. My animals will walk by the back of the couch. I've got my dog over here that's like begging for attention.
Right.
And then occasionally I'll schedule one of these, and in the middle of it I'll have something to do, so I have to hand the sperm drop to someone else
Funny.
to talk to them while I go do it. Yeah, so like
Yeah, no, I love it. Freestyle, spontaneous, real,
yeah.
doing every
I mean,
into your life a little bit too. If you're doing
yeah.
everyday things. Yeah.
Yep. And eventually I'm going to end up having one of these that's either I'm going to schedule it or it's already scheduled, or like it's on the spot. Like, hey, I have an opening. Do you want to come on? And I'm going to be in my car fucking driving because I forgot that I scheduled it. And like,
Yeah,
I'm going to, yeah.
I think it's great. I had a good time talking to you. It was nice, great to get to know you, finally interact face to face. I mean, I
Hell
hope
yeah.
you do it. Keep me in mind for futures, right? I'll sign up. I'll talk to you some more. So
Absolutely.
I feel like our conversation's kind of been all over. So bless the soul who views this one. We've touched on a lot of different things, really.
Yeah. I know, right? It's like this is like the epitome of ADHD kind of conversation. Like
It is.
every 10 seconds, it's a different subject.
Literally, yeah. But that's me in a nutshell. I'll just go off from.
That's all right. Hey,
One-to-one.
next time I have you on here, we're not going to respond to anything the other one says. So you're going to say something, and I'm going to say something completely different, and then you're just going to have your conversation, and I'm going to have mine, and it's just going to be different shit every time we open our mouth.
Let's see. Yep. Let's see what we can do and just completely do a mashup.
Right.
Of the nonsensical, random can be.
Like, how is your day going? Oh, I just paid to have my tires replaced.
How's your day going? Yeah. Or what can we do? I don't know. It'll come. It'll come. I don't know.
I went to the grocery store today. Really?
I
Like
that reminds me,
my
I gotta
teeth really hurt. Like I gotta go see the dentist. Like it's just back and forth
you hold on,
nonsense.
I'm gonna go scoop my litter box. No.
Right?
Yeah. And
Oh,
back. Man, you'll never believe the shit that my cat just left. Now you're on the plants or something.
right? Right? Like, oh, I gotta go make the dinner for the kids.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I'm like, by the way, okay, I gotta take my recyclables out real quick. So okay, I'm still responding. That might actually be harder than I think.
Yeah.
My reaction is to respond to you, but then you'll remind me of something, a similar situation, and I'll just go on about
Right.
it. We challenge.
And the cool part is by the time I post this, neither of us will even remember what we talked about.
I might not want to watch this one again.
Yeah, that'll be the best part. So it's like, oh well, like we'll listen to it. It's like, oh yeah, that's what we talked about. Like,
Don't
oh shit, I
remember
said that.
any of that. Why did I say that? Man.
Right.
I hate watching my own videos. I hate it. I hate
Right.
it. Let me just post this and forget it.
That's kind of why I never edit mine, because in order to edit it, you have to watch it and you have to
Yeah,
listen to it. And I'm
it's
like, nah, I'm good. I'm good with that. Thanks. Like,
so
I don't really want to.
yes. But I should probably take my dogs out here. It
All right.
took a long time. I enjoyed it. Thank you so
Oh,
much for having me.
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Let me know when I can help you out the next time, and I'll tune in now that I know you're out there.
All right. I'll for it in the DM if you
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah, DM
Oh
me the
no,
link. Or
already? Did I drop you the link already?
no, you did because I checked it out. I'll just
Okay.
save it. I'll write it. I'll bookmark it in my YouTube account, so I always have it there.
Awesome.
That way, I don't have to go back and search for DM. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Have a good night.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you again. Good luck with everything. Good night to the kids there if they're in the background.
Yeah.
I don't know how to exit, so you get to witness me trying to figure this out.
I'll do it for us.
Oh, I found